Hey everyone, so we're going to dive into Bitcoin as we broke our key level of support of 30k, which we've been predicting for 3 to 4 months, staying on the right side of the market. Does this look familiar to you, that this bear flag that we were drawing out for such a long time? We said it's going to break down, and we said numerous times, if this breaks down, expect a violent move to the downside, because we spoke about previous corrections. Been nailing it. Okay, and if you want to stay on this journey with me and learn how to make money in a bear market, which is where the real money is made, this is where I get excited and where I can start to really start deploying my cash and my capital. Okay, if you want to be on that journey with me, please go ahead, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and put the bell notifications on so that you don't miss any videos to stay up to date with everything. So let's get straight into Bitcoin and the key levels that we've broken. Now, I spoke about this exactly. We said 30k will likely break because where is the panic? Okay, it's breaking these lows over here. Okay, and that's how people start to get cheap Bitcoin. You can see that everyone is shitting the bed. Okay, and this whole narrative with Luna is basically, you know, the news that we already tell, you know, the news that is probably like a little bit more of a catalyst to, you know, give this move some fuel and some acceleration. But like we said before, if you can see what's going to happen in the charts ahead of time, you can predict the news, or that some sort of black swan or big news event is going to kind of happen. Okay, and we got exactly that. So what am I expecting from here? I'm expecting a few different scenarios to potentially play out. I'm still potentially looking at this area of 30k to provide some support, and I would expect that potentially we can start to revisit this area in the low 30ks. Definitely possible. Everyone's shit scared here, and you know, usually when that happens and everyone thinks that something is gonna, you know, go in one direction in a 100% certainty, you usually get some kind of reversion to the mean. So somewhere in this box over here, like I said, between that 27 to 24k, which you've pretty much nailed it, like we really did hit that so well, is where I would expect some kind of reaction here. So, you know, maybe we undercut the lows over here, okay, and then start to come back up here, form some kind of lower high, deviate, and then maybe make and roll over a little bit lower, okay? Or maybe potentially from here, what we can do is maybe consolidate for a while, undercut these lows, start to form some kind of accumulation, and maybe, you know, revert again back to the upside from here. This would be my primary first case scenario. I don't think it is healthy, nor do I think it is realistic for Bitcoin to drop like a stone to, you know, go straight from here down to like 20k. I just don't see it happening, okay? If it does, great, I can just snag some cheaper Bitcoin from the cash that I've been accumulating on the sidelines. Like I said, you should be waiting, and if you're on anything, then just be holding Bitcoin. Don't be holding altcoins, which have been absolutely crushed. And you know, this whole news event with Luna goes exactly with the narrative, is the narrative that is basically, you know, the stuff that we've been talking about, which basically is, you know, the altcoins are going to fall harder than Bitcoin if it goes down. And, you know, that's really the fuel for this narrative, which is, you know, the only thing that you can really trust in this space is Bitcoin. Don't get too greedy with your gains, okay? So, you know, be holding Bitcoin, especially in a time like this, if you're entering the market, in my opinion. So, yeah, so we basically broken down from here, broken this key support. So I am looking for some kind of, you know, move back to the upside soon. We spoke about this 200-day moving average, okay, and deviating from it certain percentage points. So in the past, whenever we've been about 200, about 50% or so from the 200-day moving average, you can see 53% the last couple of times. We are currently, okay, we've hit about 45%. So I would expect us to be somewhere close to a local bottom soon, okay? I don't expect us to just start taking out lows and tank completely down to the downside, okay? Whilst that could happen, I am expecting something to happen in this region. But like I said, it's going to be a process where at these points in the market, they need to make you think that you really need to feel that the market is going to go lower, but your objective, you remain level-headed, and you just know that this is overall a good buy zone for Bitcoin for probably the short term and the long term as well. Okay. So, you know, these are the sort of things that I'm looking out for over here. Now, the one thing that I did want to mention is, you know, if we move at an accelerated pace down to 24K pretty fast and start to move to some of these downside targets in like the low 20s, I think that does increase the possibility and the probability that we can potentially see these targets that we've been speaking about as well as an ultimate low of about somewhere between like $12,000 into this order block, okay, which is your ultimate sell your car, sell everything that you possibly can. You go to the beach and you chill and you go, okay, and you wait for the next bull run. But yeah, we want to see how things play out. So I think basically anywhere from here, we've got to the buy zone. If any of you have been waiting this far, awesome, well done for your patience. This is where you'll be rewarded. So like I said, I started to cover a few of my cash positions into Bitcoin. I started to put a little bit over here at about 10% at about 30K, just in case this was a low. More than happy to be holding. These are like my long-term spot positions. So bought a little bit here. I've got another order in at about 24K. And then if we start to deviate any lower than that, I'm looking at that 20K level, and then I'm looking at 15K and an ultimate low of somewhere over here at about 12K, and then that is pretty much me done for the market. As we're about halfway through the video, if you want to stay on this journey with me and know where you should be buying and selling your crypto and how to make profit in this bear market, drop me a like, subscribe to the channel down below, and hit that bell notification to keep up to date with everything. So without further ado, let's crack on. The 200-week moving average, again, where's that coming in hot at about this level here of about $22,000, $24,000. So that's why this whole region, I'm expecting some kind of support, okay? And then if we have a look at the volume, oops, let's get rid of that. If we have a look at the VPVR as well, where are our low volume areas? You can see this, okay, just dropping this down to the daily time frame. All right, you can see that our low volume areas that we always talk about is somewhere here. You can see that's why we get this sort of these big wicks to the downside, because we have these voids of low volume. Okay, and we can see we've got another low void over here, which is exactly at the all-time high. So somewhere here, I'm expecting for sure some kind of pattern to potentially play out. So we want to look out for like descending triangles. So not descending triangles, so descending wedges where we maybe come up here. If we start to undercut some lows, come up here, and we start to form something like this. Okay, these sort of patterns can sort of reverse us back to the upside. Inverse sort of head and shoulders kind of things. Okay, you know, something similar to what we've seen previously before. So let's keep an eye out for you know, any of these sort of patterns to basically revert us back to the upside. So historically, buying in and around that 50% decline from the 200-day moving average is really good time to be buying. And you can see that on the Fibonacci monthly moving average, we said this before. We said as soon as we break that monthly 21 and we get closes down here below it, we typically move down to the next level. Where is that next level? $24,000. Okay, keep an eye on the main objective and the goal, which is to, you know, buy in at these lower prices. Okay, this is a time for accumulation as well, because and not like big trades, because, you know, the volatility in the markets are very high, both in traditional S&P and NASDAQ markets and cryptocurrency. And you can see the same thing, just to give you a little bit more of a correlation with some of these altcoins. If we just take a look at Cardano, for example, and we just have a look at this on the daily, this is true of, you know, a lot of the altcoins at the minute. What do you notice at the minute is that we basically had a straight line down, 70% decline. What do you notice when you've seen 70% declines down in the past? Okay, 56%, we got a bounce. Okay, we got a 76% decline in the COVID March lows. These are like, you know, just straight drops that we've had before. You can see in November 2018 on like Cardano, 70% approximately. In the last bear market, again, we had another drop of about 60, 50, 70%. So, you know, these drops do tend to have some sort of reversion to the mean and some sort of pause in price. So like I said, this is exactly where we're at the minute. So some of these altcoins might be worth a little bit of a play, even though I'm saying to you, you should be holding BTC, but some of your altcoins, I would imagine that they revert to the mean as well, because nothing goes down in a straight line forever. And again, just picking out Cardano, which I'm very happy that we spoke about offloading your Cardano over here at $1.50 and at about that $2 that we're looking at 40 cents. What a prediction that was at this order block over here. Oh, what a surprise. Look where we are, exactly at the order block that we spoke about. And I think a lot of these altcoins, again, I won't go too far into those, but I think likely it's just the start of some sort of accumulation pattern that will look something like this and lead us onto the next run. But you just can't see it yet. But when you've lived through 2 bull and bear markets, you know how this sort of stuff works, and you shouldn't definitely be selling into capitulation at this point. BTC dominance, what have we been predicting? Like, guys, absolutely nailing it, right? We said, I think that the trend of the dominance is going to continue to move higher, and until we sort of pass this 47%, okay, then you can really start to look at some of those bottoming patterns, I would imagine, for a lot of the altcoins, because if Bitcoin goes down, then it's going to be the better coin to hold. And if the market goes up, I also think Bitcoin is going to be the one to be the safest one to hold, especially given market sentiment and everything at the minute. So BTC dominance moving higher, and then we can see we pretty much got the move that we predicted. We said in this area, it's not that when the DXY goes up everything has to be imminently crashing in Bitcoin. We're looking for Bitcoin to make its move during the DXY's parabolic move up, and we're pretty much got that move, or we're literally in the middle of that move. Okay, so if the DXY moves up to this $110 level, okay, we want to be keeping an eye out for potential bottoming patterns and massive moves for Bitcoin and altcoins for any potential bottoms. So to conclude, Adam was bearish up here because we knew that we were going to break down from this bear flag. That was a likely probability, and that the move would be violent. We got exactly that. Now, if we had held over here and we held 30k and we moved up in this sort of fashion and then dumped down, I think it's likely that 24k or somewhere in those mid 20s could be a potential low for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. But because of the magnitude of this move, if we do start to move a little bit low and we get to 24k first, I do think that this increases the probability of a move down to 14k eventually, as 4-year cycle theory would suggest that would happen somewhere towards the end of the year, where even over here everyone thinks that this is the bottom, and then they do one more sharp dip towards those really low prices, and then again that would potentially, if that happened, that would give us the 80% or so decline that we typically get in these bear markets. But anywhere between 20 and 30k is an excellent buying opportunity still for the long term, in my opinion. And remember, just do the math. If your targets in the future are $200,000, which is what I would be looking at, okay, does it matter if you bought here, okay, and then we went up, or does it matter if it went a bit lower? It doesn't matter. Anywhere in this area is going to be a snag, and you want to be one of those people that said, hey, I was that person who bought Bitcoin when it crashed at $25,000, $20,000, $14,000. Should we get there? Okay, so I'm going to be on this journey with you right to the end and uploading as many videos as I can to keep you up to date. So if you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and yeah, like the video, keep up to date, hit the bell icon, and until the next video, I'll catch you in the next one.